Ahead of the FIFA Women's World Cup, teams have started arriving New Zealand and Australia venue for the tournament. For African teams, it has been the case of issues with bonuses and, of course, disagreement with the different federations. First, of course, it was South Africa who had issues with SAFA, the federation, and it was sorted out before they left for New Zealand. And now it is about the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Now, coach of the side, Randy Waldron, blasted the NFF over salaries being owed, also accusing the federation of trying to force players on him, how the country was given 960,000 US dollars by FIFA for preparations and it was not used. Now, the NFF, however, denied accusations while also calling into question the technical capability of the American. Now, the latest issue, or the latest on this particular issue, is coming from the NFF spokesperson, Ademola Olajire, who blasted Coach Waldron, calling him the worst coach to have handled the Super Falcons of Nigeria. Now, joining us to talk about the saga between the NFF and, of course, coach of the Super Falcons of Nigeria is a veteran journalist when it comes to the world of sport. China Acheru joins us all the way from Port Harcourt. Good morning, China Acheru. How is Port Harcourt this morning?
Good morning, Favour. Port Harcourt is hot and breezy. Surprising, but it is.
All right, let's look at the issues trending at the moment, especially with the Super Falcons of Nigeria. We all know, of course, the NFF has always had issues with payment of salaries for coaches, both in Nigeria and, of course, when it comes to foreign coaches. Now, in the case of the the Super Falcons of Nigeria, I mean, engaging in war of words, the coach and the NFF. Should this be the case at the moment, or should this be the way it should be handled when it comes to the way the NFF and Coach Waldron are going about this issue? All right. Okay, while we'll wait for our guests to connect and, of course, to get a clearer connectivity. Don't forget. All right, I think it's back. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you, and I heard the question right.
Okay.
And I want to say it shouldn't be the case at the moment. It should never ever be the case where a coach is going out against the federation in the media. It tells a lot about the relationship between coach and employers, especially a few days to the World Cup. Now, what we are asking ourselves, what we are asking now is this. If the coach and the federation are going against each other, war of words, now, what are the players thinking? What's the preparation like ahead of the World Cup? It's chaos, complete chaos. And we only know the result of all this when the World Cup starts, because this is not the best way to prepare for a World Cup, not at all.
Let's look at the angle of Coach Waldron now. Is he on record? He holds his position as coach of University of Pittsburgh in the United States of America, and he has foreknowledge of how the NFF has handled our coaches in the past in terms of payment of salaries and everything. He knew about all these things, yet he decided to take up the job to become coach of Nigeria. How come now the situation is he going out and complaining about these issues?
That's not a fair thing to say to him, right? Some of us will say, you bought your ticket, you knew what we are getting into, so face the consequences. Yeah, but he took a job. I'm sure he must have known Nigeria's history, just like Bernard Raw of the Super Eagles then knew Nigeria's history. We a lot of times have these clashes with coaches, especially about payment of salaries and wages. But I mean, put yourself in his shoes. You want to at least get paid. Now, Randy Waldron has not covered himself in glory. We know that already. But on the issue of payments, I think when you employ someone to work for you, you should at least pay the person. So on that, he's right to complain that his wages have not been paid. He's right to complain. Right, even though so the NFF, the media, people that watch the Super Falcons, they will have a lot to say about Randy's competence to handle the Super Falcons. But talking about payment of his wages, he should be paid. because he was given a job.
All right, ahead of the World Cup, this would be a major distraction to the ladies. We saw South Africa in the last few days. They also had issues, but it was sorted out before they traveled to New Zealand. For the Super Falcons of Nigeria, the issues we have at hand, how well can these be controlled or managed?
I think it's too late. I think it's too late. For Randy, just like Ademola Olajire said, he's about to achieve his biggest in his career, coaching the team to the World Cup and at the World Cup. For him, he's achieved it. He's going to go to the World Cup. If he loses all 3 games, if he can win a game or 2, if he can get to the second round, it's all good for him. That's what he wants. And he's going there to play the games and see what happens thereafter. But for someone to tell me that the team is in its right frame of mind, you need a federation around you. You want to see the NFF chairman talk to the players. You want to see a member of the board who might be part of the delegation. You want to see the media officer or the media director, Ademola Olajire, around your team. You want to see support from your employers. Now, in this case, you are fighting. And it's not a secret fight. It's out there in the media. So it has affected the team already. And for your employers to call you the worst coach to handle the team, it tells a lot on your psyche as a person and on the players you are coaching. And like I said earlier, when the World Cup starts, the result will tell us what we've done to ourselves.
All right, talking about the NFF spokesperson, Ademola Olajire, was it the best way to react in terms of the statement he made, against Randy Waldron?
No, never the best way. But I can't sit here at home and tell someone how best he should do his job, right? I will only say, if I was in that position, I wouldn't have done it that way. But that's me, and I'm not him. A few days to the World Cup, incompetent loudmouth at your own coach. I think those words are too harsh to tell a coach you expect to lead your own team to glory. Except, of course, the NFF have told themselves that there will be no glory at the World Cup. If they've said that there will be no glory at the World Cup, then let's destroy it, let's tear it apart, let's sink the ship. Then maybe that's what they're doing. But that is no way to describe your coach to the world if you did this to the World Cup. I think on that, Ademola Olajire got it wrong.
All right, still talking about the issue, I also like to ask, should the Super Falcons not qualify from the group stage of the FIFA World Cup? Would this be used as an excuse for the girls not making, or the ladies not making it through to the next round?
Yes, we are humans. I will always clutch at something, right? I watched Randy's team play at the Africa Women Cup of Nations, and it was a hopeless team. And while watching those games, I felt the World Cup would be a waste of time. So I'm not holding my breath on a good performance at the World Cup, because the team I saw at the Africa Women Cup of Nations looked like it lacked coaching, it lacked direction. It looked like Randy just sat there, got out the names of players to play the game, and shouted out instructions with nothing shouted out already. Now, but that's by the way. But when you have this kind of crisis, you have something to hold back on. So I'm sure if the team does not perform well at the World Cup, the girls will say it, the coach will say it. They will all say the same thing. Crisis within the team, turmoil, distraction. That will be something to hold on to. So already Randy and the players, they have something to talk about. If they fail, then they can say they couldn't focus on the task at hand because of the media war between the federation and the coach. And I guess that's how it's going to happen eventually.
All right, lastly, before we let you go, let's talk about the trending issues of coaches being owed salaries. Gennaro left the Super Eagles and did complain about being owed by the NFF. Now we are having Randy Waldron, and yet the NFF come out in most cases to deny or to tell us a different story. It's been going on, and for the NFF, most of the times they've not owned up to these issues in the federation. How can these issues be solved in terms of owing coaches left, right, center?
It can only be solved when we package a product that sponsors want to be part of. And that being part of it will be, partners coming in to the end to the Football Federation, big money sponsors, they're putting their money in the game. The only other alternative is to accept that as a Football Federation, you are part of the sports ministry, 100%. Then every month, you go cap in hand with the sports minister begging for funds to fund the national team. Because I think the last time that maybe we didn't have a coach, he had other problems around him, but maybe did not have money problems. We go as far back as maybe 94, when Clement Westerhoff coached the team. And a lot of us who watched the football at that time will say Westerhoff found a way to get his, a direct link to the vice president of the country. But ever since Westerhoff left, every other coach that's come in has had this issue of, wages. Shaibu Amodu, Monday Sinclair, Stephen Keshi, Philip Chuze, just name them. They all had that crisis of, something wrong with the team financially. So the NFF would have to fund themselves fully by getting people or corporate bodies that partner with them or bow to the sports ministry and collect funds every month. All right, one of the two of them will work, or both of them will work.
All right, thank you very much, China Acheru, for your time. To talk about this issue, and we can wholly hope for the best for our national teams going forward.
The pleasure is mine.